What do you think it is?
We have to do something. Game's over.
Aha! Step on it! Got the 9:15 slot at the Comedy Hut.
Lasagna!
Hey, I said stay right there!
Mister, please! We just need a few more minutes to look around.
I'll need those back when you're done!
This weekend on WBS TV.
Welcome, baby.
Okay, thank you. How are you?
Shine, shine, shine in the morning ventilation. Teacher says, come together.
After Mukumi and after Mukede.
Teacher, how are you? Teacher, you are so good.
Tosuwa programu eno kuba mukaga ku makya essaawa 4 zennyini bambi ku WBS kokka ng'abaana be mwakatwala ku ssomero bayize okuzannyira ku bouncing castle ku WBS kwokka.
Yes, we are doing it once again, and this time round it is reloaded.
Our pockets hot, big bass in this knocking.
What they call Turn It Up Reloaded every Friday from 11 to 12 a.m.
Sounding this for now.
Turn It Up Reloaded. This time we are going to be having 5 brand new tracks you've not watched around Africa. 5 tracks, of course, trending around Africa. Entertainment from the professional view part of it, where entertainment writers will come up and we'll be having a discussion showing how the celebrities spend their money, their houses, their cars, you know, the fashion and everything that can compile it all. And again, I'll be telling you what's up, where you should be going to hang out. And again, not forgetting, we'll be having DJ Fiki, Selector Fiki, who'll be mixing it up. 1 hour of entertainment with me, Lizzie and Anderson. Turn it up, reloaded.
We take news very seriously. With hundreds of camera crews and journalists across the region.
A group of drivers are still flocking this
Very many
On the streets.
tried to snatch his number plate that had been removed.
Beyond the horizon.
National water and sewage pipes and the entire system collapsing.
News is action at WBS TV.
This eviction has been very peaceful.
More resources to cover breaking news first.
Since this is where the crime was committed.
If it is happening now, then it is on WBS TV News.
I think my shoe department is a lot more exciting than my love life.
Bulibabutia. Hey, heaven, you joke with heaven.
You only live once.
Don't miss all that and so much more only on WBS.
Tested for rock-solid results, from ability and creativity to news.
Ginger RDC has banned the selling of chapatis on the street.
For the best of children programming, with vibrant composition. Let's have some fun. We educate.
Yes! They got away!
We entertain.
Let's jump in the puddle. Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to the afternoon edition on WBS Television, the 6th day of the month of February, the year 2015. I'm Mildred Tohaise. In the news, business at Bonjako landing sites in Mpigi district has come to a halt following the closure of all landing sites at Bonjako Island by health officials due to the worrying sanitation on the island. The health team that comprised political leaders of the district visited the sites and established that the sites were not fit for settlement and other activities due to absence of public toilets. Let's have more.
3 landing sites including Magungu, Bukasa and Bukina have been closed following several warnings from Mpigi district health inspectors demanding for the construction of pit latrines, but with no response. Each of the 3 landing sites have a total population of more than 3,000 residents, including children. But for several years, they have been using bushes and the shores of the lake to ease themselves.
On the international scene, dozens of Jordanian fighter jets have combed Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant ISIL targets. The military has confirmed, pledging to keep up the attacks until the armed group is defeated. Jordanian Foreign Minister Nasser Al-Jude says the raids have now expanded into Iraq as Jordan joined the US-led military alliance against ISIL.
The army issued a statement saying that Jordan carried out its own airstrikes against ISIL targets on Thursday outside the framework of the international coalition. Jordan before had been going with other air forces from other countries to carry out these airstrikes. For the first time, the Jordanian carried out their operation on Thursday, which they called the Martyr Mu'adhiz operation. They said that tens of fighter jets struck ISIL targets. These targets included weapon storage facilities as well as training facilities. The army said that all these targets were destroyed and the fighter jets returned to Jordan safely. The army said in its statement that this is only the start. It warned ISIL that they will eventually know who Jordanians are and that they are making all the efforts to annihilate ISIL, and that they're working with other countries and other forces who are fighting on the ground, including the Iraqi army, as well as the Kurdish Peshmerga forces and the moderate Syrian opposition, which Jordan had been reluctant in the past to support.
And now, Colonel Fred Mwesigye, one of the remaining 27 NRA soldiers who started the attack on the Kabamba barracks on 6th of this very month in 1981, talks to WBS about the achievements of the National Resistance Army, then now the National Resistance Movement, as they celebrate their 34th Terehesita Day.
With me on the labor grounds, he's Colonel Fred Mwesigye. Colonel Fred Mwesigye is one of the 27 guys who went to the bush in 1981 to start the NRA Liberation War. And since then, majority of them have died. Now, there are left only 5, and he's among the lucky 5 who are still living alive. Colonel Fred Mwesigye, thanks for joining me on this level ground. It is an interactive news segment where we discuss issues that affect the people and build the nation. Now, this week you will be celebrating the Terehesita, and we want you now to tell us how you saw it. But before you get into that, people watching us tonight would like to know how your journey started from somewhere in Makindi.
Okay. We were planning under another house where President was staying at that time when he was the Minister of Defense. Then we were planning in another house of late Kazora. He was a prominent lawyer in this town. And from there, we moved to Matthew Chikaire's home, I think, on the night of 4th. And we stayed there. Several of us whom we had collected from various units, and we stayed there. And in the evening of the 5th, we entered into a trailer, the first head of the trailer, and it was reviewed by now Brigadier Andrew Taya. And we drove, and sincerely, not everybody knew where we were heading to.
So funny, how?
Except few leaders who were involved in planning, in wrecking. You know, top secrecy is very, very important in any military operation. So we were there, and we boarded into our truck, and we drove throughout the night in a closed truck, mark you, closed truck. So nobody knew where we are heading. But some of us knew where we were going, and our leaders, like our president now and others, were following in another car, small car, which later on got problems in Masaka. Then they got another small car, and they followed us until we reached our destination. But that night of the 5th was a night of anxiety, was a night of tension, and was a night of so many dreams about the unknown. So it was a mixture of so many feelings and dreams and anxieties.
Now, you were through Masaka.
Yes.
What's your first stopover?
Our first stopover was at a place called Makore. This is between Tutsi and Kabamba. It was about 3 to 4. We waited for our leaders. This was our chairman, our leader, President Yoweri Museveni now. We stopped there and we waited. And I want to tell you, we were all shivering because it was so cold and in a bit of darkness. And we waited for some time until he came. And he came at about between 4 and 5. He had already arrived at that point. Then he divided us into 2 groups. One group stayed in the truck, and another group where I was entered in the small car, which they came into, a small saloon car, which belonged to the late father of late Lumumba, Mr. Yondo.
Lumumba the MP?
No, Lumumba was a soldier who died, one of the commanders. So we entered in this car, and we drove. We were about 7 of us, and we drove. I was with the late Magara, late Mulebuwanga, with the late Dayondi, late Chifwa Kamuninga, late Suicide Katunji, and late Kajina. We were about 7. So we drove in this small car ahead of the truck. And our briefing was that when you get the quarter guard of Kabamba, the bigger truck will slightly overtake. So we create space, let it overtake the small car and inform the people at the quarter guard that we are bringing dry rations.
Was there any kind of success? Did you make any kind of success in the mission?
Yes, there was a success, in my opinion, because first of all, we attacked the barracks, okay? And actually we reached most of the objectives, like the communication, the logistics, the medical, the officers' houses, and we reached the AMRA. So all our objectives were achieved. We dispersed the 3,000 plus soldiers who were there. They were all dispersed completely, and some even ran up to Kampala on foot. So, in my opinion, we actually achieved. And again, we made it clear to the world that we had actually launched our liberation struggle. So, yes, the objectives were achieved that day.
Did you manage to get some equipment?
We managed to get some trucks, some sacks of portioned beans, some medicine, some communication equipment, some small SMGs, small light machine guns, and we moved, and we were joined by some other soldiers who were waiting for us there, and we moved from Kabamba without any interruption up to Kagadi, Kakumero, Chenjojo, up to... So, in one of the operations, we raided a small unit in Wamat, and we captured so many weapons, which included some tank weapons and very many hand grenades, stick grenades. So one of course we didn't have a number or something, but we would have a small place where we would keep our weapons, our captured weapons and ammunition. So the incident where Elisa lost his life, that we had this tank. This is a very powerful tank, a powerful weapon, a tank grenade which is supposed to blast a tank. So as we were taking stock of the ammunition and the weapon that we had captured, this anti-tank had a loose head. So as he was trying to fix the head, he hit it down. Now when he hit it down, then it blasted him. And I was there, and we lost about 4 comrades instantly. I was injured, and I was treated. So, and we even had some civilians also who were injured.
Thanks for joining me,
Thank you very much.
Colonel Fred,
Thank you.
on this Pro Interactive News segment. A segment
WBS Afternoon Edition. We take a very short break and return in a while with more stories.
There are spotless stories and stories born in the mud.
Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Now, elsewhere in the world, the global destabilizing impact from falling oil prices has destabilized Nigeria's currency, the naira, which has declined up to 12%. This has witnessed market prices of consumer goods shoot high, hence stifling the life of a common Nigerian.
Kenya Opia is shopping for toiletries in the Nigerian capital, Abuja. The prices have nearly doubled here because of the falling global price of oil. Sellers buy their goods in dollars from abroad, but the local currency, the naira, has lost nearly 10% of its value against the dollar, making the goods more expensive to import. And so sellers have passed the increased costs on to customers.
It's ridiculous because I came to the market today with an intent of spending 7,000, but I ended up spending 9,000 naira. When I was asking the man, most of the things I used to buy for like 1,500 were now 1,800, 1,850, or some even 2,000 naira. So everything they had added money to so many of these commodities.
Nigeria's central bank has reduced the value of the naira because of the falling price of oil. More than 90% of the nation's income comes from exporting oil, and oil has lost nearly 60% of its value over the last 6 months. At stores like these in Abuja, they've been preparing for the increased cost of importing goods.
Bringing in most of the goods from abroad has kind of slowed down. We kind of expected it because of the drop in the price of oil. It's just simple business.
But the situation is a little harsher for consumers who have to buy dollars when they travel abroad, and they're having to spend more in naira to get dollars. Economists say the falling value of the naira is an important lesson.
We should be more responsible. We should save at good times. I mean, if you look at some of the Arab countries, that are also oil rich, they've diversified their economies away from oil.
Nigerians are hoping that the price of oil stabilizes so that the country can regain its income and prices can come down.
Well, that's all we had time for on the afternoon edition. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good afternoon. I'm Mildred Tohaise.
You are watching WBS TV.